Do you suffer at all from being overly stressed and having a difficult time managing your stress levels? Well, this video might be for you. I'm Dr. Rob Smith, and I'm a performance psychologist and an author of a recent book entitled Shooting Out of Your Mind: How to Shoot a Basketball from the Inside Out. And in that book, I describe a lot of different exercises that can help you become a better basketball shooter. And the first part involves an awful lot of the mental skills, and one of them is managing your energy. In order to become an elite performer in anything, you have to know how to manage your energy level. So in this video, I actually created two other ones that are part of the series. So this is part 3. The first part I talked about the importance of breath and how to use your breathing in order to do that. The second video is about how to use your whole body's muscle relaxation response to your advantage. So that way you can lower your energy level and get more relaxed and perhaps even get a good night's sleep. And in this video, we're going to talk about visualization and the power of mental imagery. A few things with imagery that are very important to bear in mind. One is that imagery, for you to be able to benefit from it the most, you have to be able to see something that's vivid and clear. It has to look like something in your mind's eye that you can relate with. For example, if you can picture right now, a simple exercise that I have people work on is picture yourself holding an orange. All right, so you're holding an orange, and I want to use your imagination right now if you're watching this video by looking at an orange in my hand, and I'm going to visualize I have that orange in my hand. I'm feeling its shape, its size, its weight, its temperature. I'm bringing it to my nose, and I'm going to smell it and smell the citrus of the rind, right? And then I'm going to kind of move it around and look at the navel on it and perhaps any other markings, right? Squeeze it a little bit and feel its texture. And then what I want to do is I want to take a thumb and dig it into the skin, and I want to start pulling back the rind a little bit and seeing as it starts to peel back, I'm seeing the yummy fruit on the inside and seeing the little yellow coating on it as well. And as I pull it off and pull off the entire skin, I now want to take my thumbs and stick it down the middle of the orange and pull it apart. I'm going to hear it separate as the sections pull apart, revealing on the inside some of the fruit and perhaps a droplet or two of juice. Then what I want you to do is I want to take one of the sections off, pull it off, and then smell it, right? Smell the sharp, sweet, citrusy smell, pop it in your mouth, and bite down, all right? Chew that section of orange and feel the cool, sweet, delicious juice running throughout your mouth as you chew it and then swallow it. And then pull off another one and do the same thing. Just repeat. Chew it and smell it and taste it and feel your jaw moving as you chew it and your tongue working in order to get the fruit to go down. If that exercise was fairly easy for you and it was very vivid and you could see the colors and feel the movements and even picture the taste and the smell, you have what's known as a very strong response to mental imagery. People who get hypnotized, they have a hypnotic susceptibility scale that will point out that people who are very high on that scale tend to be really good imaginers. They can visualize things. But I'm convinced that you can get better at it even if you're not great at visualizing. Now, besides clarity, and you may notice that I brought in all the senses into that little orange exercise. You also want to work on controllability. It doesn't help if your visual image is not behaving the way you want it to. Let's just say that you're rehearsing, like if you put yourself, maybe if you're listening to a Calm app or a Headspace app for guided imagery, and they have you picturing yourself on a beautiful beach and you're sitting there laying on a nice towel and you got your head propped up on another towel and you're relaxing and starting to get into this scene. All of a sudden, a wave comes and shoots up your nose and you get salt water and you get covered with water. If you have something happen in it that you don't want to have happen, then you're not going to be relaxed by it. So the imagery or the movie that you watch in your head has to be both vivid and clear and controllable for you to benefit from it most. So we're going to talk about 3 uses for mental imagery or visualization practice. 3 uses include mental practice, right? That's one. When I was a competitive basketball player, I would visualize the opponents that I was playing against, and I would just naturally just think about what I was going to do to try to counter their strengths, and also what I was going to do in order to gain the advantage on them. And I could hear the crowd. I saw the lighting in the gym that we were going to play in. I could hear the squeak of the sneakers on the floor. It was that vivid. Unfortunately for me, I didn't do that as a general practice, but it's usually the really big games I would kind of mentally, I would just go there. And I found later on, many years later, as I learned that there was this thing called sports psychology, that you could actually do that deliberately instead of by accident or when you think of it. Most athletes, as a matter of fact, will tell you that part of their mental prep for a game or for a competition is to visually practice themselves. If you're a basketball player, you're seeing yourself getting warmed up, going through layups with the team, high-fiving your team, listening to the crowd, the horn. If you're a runner, just getting ready, just noticing the other competitors, but not really focusing on any of them and just focusing on your race. So visualizing how you wanted things to turn out and then just practicing them in your head. So that way you can do for a mental prep, and also you can learn new skills, something that you just started working on in practice. You could visualize to kind of reinforce the learning, because it's been found that as you visualize and practice, for the same reason that your heart rate will slow down and you'll feel more relaxed when you're seeing yourself in a comfortable spot, your heart rate will accelerate and your muscles will twitch at some low level in the areas that are being activated by the activity. So there's this very powerful effect. That's the reason why the movie industry is so powerful, the video game, and especially virtual reality. That whole industry is taking off because they're tapping into the power of your imagination, and it helps you visualize your success and help your body condition itself in order to act in the right way at the right time when you're performing. So there's mental practice, and also, as I mentioned before, energy regulation. That's another one. Energy regulation. If you visualize yourself at a comfortable spot, maybe you're not a beach person, maybe there's a concern about skin cancer or something like that. Well, put yourself in a relaxing spot, maybe in on a mountain, by a mountain stream, or whatever happy, relaxing place that you like to be, and putting yourself there with all the senses. Once again, intentionally going through, you start off by taking a couple of nice deep breaths and allow yourself to just relax first, because being more relaxed when you practice the imagery helps the imagery become more clear and more vivid and more controllable. So take a couple deep breaths and then visualize yourself in that comfortable spot. And again, looking around you, seeing what you see, the beautiful sunlight hitting off the trees, the sound of the waves or the babbling stream, or wherever you are that's relaxing. Feel the comfort of where you are as well. Smell the smells. Consciously work on all the senses, the 5 senses, and even the 6th sense, which is the motor movement sense. Practice that and you'll be much more likely to feel more relaxed as a result of visualizing the relaxing scene. Again, if you are going back into a competitive scene, you don't want to be that relaxed, so you're going to visualize yourself competing, and that'll shoot up your energy level. So that's another piece about energy management. And then finally, another area that I think that imagery can be used more deliberately is in the area of building confidence. Now, I talk extensively about this in one of the chapters of my book, and I like to think that people think of confidence as being an enduring thing that you either have or you don't have, and it isn't. I like to think of it more like a vessel, like a bucket, and I use this illustration in my book called the confidence bucket. If you visualize the bucket that's full of water, you'll see that water could represent also your confidence level. And notice that there are faucets above it. One of them has a handle and the other one doesn't. That represents that there are things that you take into your confidence assessment as to whether or not you feel that you trust yourself in a certain situation. And then there are times in which you feel kind of not very confident. So by looking at that as sort of like a thing that is filled with confidence or not with confidence in different levels. If you're high in confidence, something can happen that you don't like, but you have more confidence left over, so you have more of a buffer. But let's say that your confidence bucket is on the low end. Then if something happens that takes away your confidence, then you feel like you're bottoming out, right? So you're much more likely to be greatly affected by a mistake or by an unfortunate turn of events, because you didn't have a whole lot of confidence to start, and whatever you had's gone now. So what's very important is you have to learn how to refill your bucket. And you may notice also in that graphic, there's a faucet down by the bottom of the bucket. And what that represents is that sometimes we actually visualize the reasons why we shouldn't trust ourselves. We think about all the mistakes we've made. We've imagined even future mistakes being made. And so we're kind of draining whatever confidence we have left. What I'm suggesting is that in order for you to refill your own confidence bucket, I want you to picture a time, we call it a powerful memory, a time in which you felt like you really came through and were able to perform well in whatever context it is. And I'm using basketball because of my basketball book. But let's just say that you could think of a game that you felt unusually good. You were making all the right moves. You were in sync with your team. You were stopping your opponent. You felt like you could release the shot and it was going to go in. Before it went in, you already knew it was going in. So you just really had it down, and you felt like you were in the flow. And that flow is something that can be elusive, and that is strongly related with confidence and with preparation. So to use imagery in that sense, what you want to do is you want to be able to conjure one of those powerful memories, one of those confidence builders. In a sense, it's objective data to suggest that you have every reason to believe that you're going to succeed in this next game, this next competition, or this next big meeting, whatever it is, because now you can draw evidence from it from that prior experience. So I want you to use that powerful memory to refill your own bucket. And this imagery exercise can be excellent and combined with some of the other stuff that we talked about before, which would help you develop the power and the clarity of the images so that you can use your imagination to your best benefit. So to summarize, imagery, relaxation, and so on, all part of the energy management series, include the use of imagery for mental preparation, for relaxation, and for building confidence. If you found this video to be helpful, please like it. And I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And remember to take a look at this book, Shooting Out of Your Mind: How to Shoot a Basketball from the Inside Out. In it are tons of exercises for you to be able to become a better manager of your energy level. Even if you don't play basketball, you'd still appreciate the first 7 chapters, which talk to you about the power of your mind and how you can use it to your advantage. And then the last part, which talks an awful lot about how to integrate and to take a plan of action and to make it happen for you. In the meantime, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you found it helpful, and have a great day.